Before I got to grace a Major League Baseball field, I learned 7 lessons that I think are paramount to success, whether you are in middle school, high school, college, or you are a professional baseball player. These 7 lessons I learned throughout my decade plus in baseball, that I think you need to know. Obviously, from where I came from, I was a college walk-on at Wagner College in Staten Island, New York, small Division I school. I had to walk on, I had to pave my way. And so I ended up getting drafted in the 14th round. I ended up grinding my way through the minor leagues, spent 7 years in the minor leagues with very minimal opportunity before I got traded to the Minnesota Twins and got to the big leagues. So through my 3-year collegiate career and then, parts of 9 seasons, almost a decade in professional baseball, I learned a thing or two. So here are these 7 lessons, man. Number 1, your skill on the baseball field is in direct correlation to how much baseball you play. So when I was coming up through high school, I was small. I wasn't necessarily as good as everybody else. And that was because I focused on other sports. I primarily focused on football. I wasn't necessarily a very good football player. I was small. I could run fast. I didn't like getting hit. Man, so when I rolled out in spring, when it came time to play baseball, I would step on the baseball field and I would wonder why, hey man, how are these guys so much more polished than me? They're not necessarily more athletic than me. They don't try harder than me. And they don't take it as serious as I take it. How come these guys are way better than me? How come they're able to hit home runs? How come they're able to play top tier defense at premier position? And how come these guys are already committed to schools? How come they're already able to hit home runs left and right and getting attention from scouts and Division I schools, man? Well, it comes down to these guys focused on baseball and played more baseball than me. So obviously when you are coming up and developing, right, it is important that you try multiple sports. You develop your athleticism either on the basketball court or on the football field, right? Whatever the other sports are. We had Randy Johnson, MLB Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer on the podcast, and he was talking about the importance of playing multiple sports that helps you develop your athleticism. Well, if I am just an average baseball player with average talent, which I was, average size, average ability, I can't roll onto the baseball field and expect to compete with the big boys that are playing baseball year round, that have had way more reps than me, way more time, way more volume than me. So in order to develop skill on the baseball field, we need to put in volume and we need to put in time. Your skill on the baseball field is in direct correlation to how much baseball you play. How many times have we seen a good athlete, whether it's a soccer player or a baseball player or a basketball player, go out on the football field and try to throw a football? Yeah, it's hard, but these guys can catch a football, they can run, they can try to make a move, they can try to run fast. How many times have we seen an athlete, a football player, a basketball player, step in the box and try to hit a baseball? How many times have we seen a top tier athlete try to hit a pitching machine throwing 70 miles an hour? Some of these swings are absolutely brutal. We cannot expect to go out on the baseball field and compete at a high level if we're not playing baseball very much, if we're not practicing, if we're not grinding. So your skill on the baseball field is in direct correlation to how much time and how much baseball you play. It is important to understand that, man. That is lesson number 1. Everybody wants to play in the major leagues, right? If you are trying to play baseball at a high level, whether it's travel ball, whether you're trying to make your varsity team, whether you're trying to get a scholarship, whether you're trying to play in college or get drafted, play indie ball, whatever it is, everybody wants to maximize their career. Everybody wants to get to the big leagues. That's what it is. You make stupid money there. You get stupid opportunity and you get to play among the best of the best. You get to say that you lived your lifelong dream, man. That it was a dream come true for me, especially as a college walk-on. So when I was playing baseball coming up, like I said in high school, I'm wondering why everybody is better than me. I walk on to Wagner College in Staten Island, New York. I end up making the team. I end up being a starter my freshman year, and I have access to the same facilities that everybody else does. Yes, it's Wagner College. It's not necessarily Vanderbilt. It's not LSU. I don't have a 24-hour facility with lights on in a perfect indoor cage, right, that's turfed out and with the top-tier pitching machines. But I have the ability to go down to the field and get in the reps. So once I leveled the playing field by putting in the time and getting on a Division I campus, that's when I started getting on the same level as everybody else. That's when I started surpassing people, right? So, lesson number one, it is paramount to your success. It is important to know your skill on the field is in direct correlation to how much baseball and how much time you put in. Man, I'd love to give a shout out to a partner of mine, the sponsor of today's stream, OTU Baseball Curriculum. So if you check out otubaseball.com, these guys are bringing baseball development and baseball education to wherever you're at. Whether you're a grassroots baseball player just trying to learn the concepts of baseball, or you are you're a talented baseball player that knows everything about the game. You just need to freshen up, brush up on your baseball IQ, man. Taught by professionals, Olympians, that can teach your game, that can elevate your game, teach you the concepts that you think you thought you knew, but you really don't know. These guys can help you out. Check out otubaseball.com. Tell them Ian from the Nine Hole sent you. They'll love that. Moving on to the show. Number two, regardless of where you're at, obviously, like as you start progressing through your career, the higher you go, everybody wants to make it. So if you get drafted and you're playing in the minor leagues, you're playing in professional baseball, everybody is there because they want to play in the big leagues, man. I get it. But if you're not even at a Division I school yet, if you're not even at a D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, you're not even in college yet playing college baseball, and you say that you want to play in the big leagues, or you want to get a D1 scholarship, a full ride, right? People are going to laugh at you, man. People laughed at me when I was saying I wanted to play in the big leagues. I didn't play varsity baseball until my junior year of high school. And I batted ninth and I played right field. They snuck me in right field, man. There's always going to be teammates. There's always going to be older guys that don't have the same drive as you, that don't have the same dreams or the same vision for the future that you do. If you are made fun of for those dreams, or you're made fun of for those visions, for your actions, for your discipline, right? Man, that is their problem. It's not your problem. There are always going to be people that are going to talk negatively about you, that are going to make fun of you because of your commitment. If you are dead set on making it to the big leagues, there are always going to be older guys that don't have the same drive, the same passion. I get it, man. That's their problem for not being all in like you. Excuse me. So there are always going to be people like that. Obviously, when you get to D1 baseball or you make it to college baseball, everybody's actions and everybody's dreams start to align a little bit. Everybody starts getting hungry. So now I wasn't a dude when I was in high school, but I walked on, I made my Division I team, and now I am amongst other people in the locker room that have the same dream as me. They want to hit 300. They want to maximize their career. Not everybody is a Major League Baseball talent. Not everybody has the same dream of playing Major League Baseball, even if they are on a D1 team, right? Your dream might scare people. People may make fun of you for your dream, and not everybody is going to have the same alignment when it comes to the vision for the future. There's always going to be older guys. There's always going to be teammates that are going to shit on you for your dream, shit on you for your vision. They're not going to have the same drive. I get it. That's not your problem. Stay the course. That is their problem. Number three. So another big lesson that I learned on my progression or my journey from Little League to the big leagues, primarily all out of the nine hole, is that playing in the middle of the field gives you the best opportunity. So, what is a premier position, right? When we play a premier position, or when we talk about a premier position, we are talking about the middle of the field, right? So, we're talking about a catcher. We're talking about a pitcher. We're talking about a shortstop. We're talking about a center fielder. Those are premier positions, man. Those are athletes. Those are usually dudes that are able to play multiple positions. If you are primarily just a first baseman, or you are primarily just a left fielder, chances are that's because you're a liability with the glove. You're not extremely special with the bat. You are limited in what you are able to do. So when we talk about playing a premier position, we're talking about playing in the middle of the field. Being a catcher, that is, you can have big time value if you are a premier catcher. If you're a pitcher, obviously everybody needs pitching. Everybody needs starting pitching. That is a premier position. Starting pitchers get paid the most. They get the most scholarship money. They are sought after the most. Shortstops. When we talk about players in the infield, shortstops are the most premier position in the infield. You put your best defender in the infield at shortstop. Why? Well, because that's where they're going to get the most ground balls, man. That's who gets the most reps. That's who gets the most balls hit at them. Shortstop is the premier position in the infield. Obviously, if you catch, premier. Pitching's premier. Starting pitching is more premier than anything else. And then when we talk about an outfielder being a premier outfielder in a premier position, we're talking about a center fielder. If you're a center fielder, chances are you're serviceable in left. You can be put in right field. A big donkey out in right field that can only run like a 6'9", a 7'1", 60-yard dash, chances are he's not going to be able to play the premier position that center field is. A guy that is a premier center fielder can probably play all three outfield spots. So if I have a guy that can play all three outfield spots and plays center field, chances are he's going to get the most opportunity for a scholarship. He's going to get the most opportunity for a draft pick. He's going to have the most opportunity to get to the big leagues if he can play all three outfield spots. So I learned this lesson coming up. Obviously, as I got older, I understood this more. But the younger you can understand this in your career, the earlier you can understand this and completely buy in, the better chances you have of either making it to the next level, getting a scholarship, getting drafted, getting a professional opportunity. Man, play a premier position, play in the middle of the diamond, play in the middle of the field, be a catcher, be a pitcher, a shortstop, or a center fielder. And then either the team that drafts you, the organization that gives you a chance, or the college coach that tries to give you a spot or gives you a scholarship will move you around based off of his needs. Playing in the middle of the field will increase your chances of moving on and playing at the next level. Number 4. So this is another big lesson that I learned on my way to getting to the MLB. So you see these guys, you see Shohei Ohtani, just quickest to get to 40-40. Man, you see Bobby Witt Jr., right? We see Ronald Acuna, obviously, who is hurt right now. But we see these guys, we see these big name dudes. Man, these guys are studs, right? We just saw Dylan Cruz go deep last night. We see these big name dudes that are obviously studs. They're outliers in the big leagues, man. So these are 5-tool studs. These are dudes that are going to make $100 million plus. These are guys that are going to play 10 plus years in the big leagues. These are 5-tool baseball players. So lesson number 4 that I learned on my progression, on my path from little league to the big leagues is you don't have to be a 4 or 5-tool baseball player in order to get to the big leagues. That is a myth. I did not have 4 or 5 tools on my way to getting to the big leagues. I did not have 4 tools. I did not have 5 major league tools when I got called up when I was playing in the big leagues. You just have to have 1 or 2 really good tools, to get noticed. You just have to have 1 or 2 really good tools, man. That's it. In order for a team to take a chance on you, in order for a team to draft you or give you a chance at the next level, man, sometimes all it takes is just 1 really good tool. For me, it was speed, man. I could run really fast. I could run a 6'2", 60, 6'3", 60 on command, right? I could steal bags. That's all it took for me to get drafted in the 14th round. That's all it took for me to get an opportunity with the Seattle Mariners, right? Obviously, I needed to figure the other stuff out, but these organizations, these front offices, they have the personnel, they have the coaches in place that can teach you that stuff, man. You just have to have 1 or 2 really good tools to get noticed. In order to get your foot in the door, you just have to have one of these tools that is better than everybody else. Yes, you spend your time trying to hit 300. Yes, you spend your time trying to pick it at shortstop. You spend your time long tossing, man. I get it. You try to pound the strike zone. I get it. Sometimes all you need to do is dumb it down a little bit. You don't have to try to develop 5 major league ready tools right now, dude. Have 1 or 2 really good tools that you can get polished at, that you can separate and be consistent on, and you'll get noticed, man. A team can take a chance on you. You can get your foot in the door. They can teach you the rest. They can teach you the rest. When I got drafted by the Mariners, like I said, man, I could just run. I wasn't necessarily the best hitter in the world. My junior year, when I got drafted out of Wagner College, dude, I had 3 extra base hits. So I was a Division I baseball player. I played like 40 or 50 games. I had 3 extra base hits with a metal bat, dude. I think I hit 330 in the Northeast Conference. And dudes were throwing like max 90 miles an hour back then. So I only had 3 extra base hits that year I got drafted in the 14th round. I could run, man. That was my tool. Sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need, man, right? You only have to have one or two really good tools, like I just said, to get your foot in the door, get an opportunity, man, and then just be good enough and resilient enough and consistent enough with that tool and learn the other stuff. Be serviceable with the other stuff. Be able to play multiple positions, right? If defense isn't your strong suit, learn how to be serviceable at other positions. Let your bat carry you. If your defense is your strong point, play a premier position. Do we see guys playing at a premier position, right? Center field, shortstop, that play gold glove defense but can't hit a lick. These guys are hitting below 230. These guys are hitting below 250, man. I get it. But if you bring your glove, you're a platinum glove winner, man, you're a gold glove winner at shortstop or in center field, they will find a spot for you in the lineup. Right? Be really good at one of these tools, man. Get an opportunity, get seen because of these tools. Be consistent with it. Learn how to develop that tool, separate, and everything else will fall into place, man. They can teach you how to do the other stuff. You just need an opportunity. Number 5. So obviously in my almost decade of playing professional baseball, I learned a thing or two, right? We talked about everybody wants to get to the big leagues if you're playing baseball, man, but not everybody can get there. It's not necessarily all about talent. Number 5. So you can't be afraid to fail. I'm sure this is redundant. I'm sure this is not going to be the first time you guys hear this. But being afraid to fail or strike out or hit under 300, it makes it happen. It's guaranteed it's going to make it happen. If you focus your time, if you focus your energy on the things that you don't want to happen, they're going to happen. If a guy is pumping fuzz, he's throwing 100 miles an hour, and you're just up there saying, dude, I don't want to get to 2 strikes because I don't want to strike out, you're probably going to strike out. If you're rolling into the season, you know you didn't get enough work in this offseason, and you're rolling into the season saying, man, I don't want to hit under 300. Chances are, if that's what you're thinking about, dude, you're going to hit under 300. Right? So you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to go up to the plate and strike out, go down swinging, dude. You got to go up there and you have to trust your ability. You have to have confidence in what you're going to be able to do. And that is extremely important. You can't be afraid to fail. Being afraid to hit under 300 guarantees it's just going to happen, right? How many times have we seen it? A player makes an error out in the field. And then what? Next at bat, next batter comes up, he makes another error. What do you think that player's thinking about in between those 2 errors? Oh man, I just made an error, last batter. Oh man, I just made an error last inning. I hope another ball doesn't get hit to me because chances are I'm going to miss it. I've been there. Everybody's been there, man. That's how baseball goes. We can't be afraid to fail. We have to play full speed. We have to go all out, and we can't necessarily focus on the shit that we don't want to not have happen, right? So if we're thinking about, dude, I don't want to swing and miss at this pitch, chances are it's going to happen. If you focus on what you don't want to happen as opposed to what you're aiming for, you're screwed, right? So if we want to be a 300 hitter, think about hitting 300. Right? If we don't want to hit under 300, think about hitting above 300, right? If we're consistently focusing on the lack, or if we're consistently focusing on the stuff we don't want to have happen, chances are it's going to happen. More chances than not, it is going to happen, man. So don't think about the fear of failure. Don't think about making mistakes. Don't think about hitting under 300. Don't think about making an error, man. The more times we do that, the more times we're probably going to make it happen. Guaranteed, dude. That's the law of baseball. It's the law of averages. It's how it works, man. Number 6. This is huge. I hear players talking about this all the time. I hear, baseball coaches talking about it all the time. I just don't think it is implemented enough. I don't think people take it seriously. But this is huge, man. Your sleep and your nutrition has a direct correlation to your performance, your stats, and your success on the field. So if you're not getting your sleep, that means you're not recovering. That means your brain's going to be foggy the next day. If you've gotten 3 or 4 hours of sleep, not restful sleep, you didn't get a nap in, you didn't get the right food in, dude, how are you going to expect to get out there on the field and compete against Paul Skeens throwing 102, right? If you ate Burger King before first pitch and you got the bubble guts going out there in the batter's box, how are you going to expect to bust it and run a hard 90 down the line when you roll over something and you got to beat something out in the hole, right? You're trying not to take a dump while you're running down the field. I've played with people that have done that. I've played with people that have gone to the bathroom in their pants as they're trying to compete, man, right? Your sleep and your nutrition have a direct correlation to your performance and the stats and like what you're able to do on the field. Right. So when I was in the big leagues, man, the Twins, the Cubs, they have nutritionists left and right. They have mental performance coaches left and right. They want to talk about getting your mind right. They want to talk about sleep. They want to talk about making sure your mind's clear after games before you lay your head down on your pillow so you can go to sleep. They want to talk about supplements and the nutrition that can kind of activate that good REM sleep. So they talk about like tart cherry juice and stuff. They want to talk about like magnesium citrate, certain types of supplements that are able to give you restful sleep so that you can wake up feeling your best. You can't expect to go out and perform at a high level, dude, if you are just taking in fast food, if you're not eating good carbs, if you're not eating good healthy stuff, man. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to eat, filet mignon and lobster, dude. You don't have to, eat vegan before first pitch, man. I'm not saying that. But like you can't expect to go out there and perform at a high level and not get hurt if the only thing you ate today was McDonald's for lunch and Burger King for breakfast. Don't do that to yourself, man. Do not do that to yourself. You pump yourself full of Red Bulls and Monster Energies and stuff, and you go out there and you're not hydrated, dude. What do you think's gonna happen? Your hammies are gonna blow out. You're gonna hurt yourself. That you're gonna cramp up. That's how it goes, man. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're getting the right food in you. Make sure you're rested, you're hydrated, dude. It all is in direct correlation to your performance. You cannot expect to go out and play baseball or any sport for that matter at a high level if you're feeling like shit. If you haven't eaten the right stuff, if you haven't gotten more than 5 hours of sleep, dude. When I was playing in college, when I was playing in the minor leagues, when I was playing in the big leagues, dude, these guys are sleeping for 10 to 12 hours. Right? How insane is that? Are you getting 10 to 12 hours of sleep? No, you're probably not. You're probably not. I understand you guys might have to go to school and stuff. You guys might have responsibilities. You got to get up and do your chores and stuff. I get it. But if you're not recovering in your sleep, if you're not getting the right nutrition in, if you're not putting the right time and effort into this specific category, your sleep and your nutrition, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your career. You're holding yourself back, man. So I was fortunate enough in my career not to have a whole plethora. I didn't have a whole lot of injuries, man. I took care of myself. I made sure I drank water. I made sure I didn't eat like shit. And I made sure I got enough sleep, dude. I made sure I got enough sleep. Obviously, the younger you are, the more sleep you need. The more sleep you need. So if you're on your feet for 10 to 12 hours a day grinding, whether you're in college or you're playing professional baseball, dude, you need to make sure you're recovering. That's a necessity, man. That's a necessity. So if your body doesn't have enough like good calories or good fat or good carbs in you, like you're gonna start burning muscle. You're gonna start evaporating, dude. That's what happened to me, man. I got hurt one year because I wasn't adequately I didn't have the right nutrition in me. So if you start burning calories and you run out of calories to start burning, your body starts burning muscle, dude, and that's not good. That is not a good recipe for success. That's how you get hurt. Don't do it to yourself. Please don't do it to yourself. Number 7, and this is the last one. This is what we're going to leave off with, dude. I think this is extremely important. I probably could have led off with this, but I'll end with it. So what's extremely important to know is obviously, dude, a baseball season is long. A baseball season is long, man. I get it. And we get lost in, stats and performance. We always hear like, dude, it's all about the process. It's not necessarily all about performance. I get it. I get it. And even if you're a 300 hitter, dude, you're still going to fail 7 times out of 10. So we are wrapped up in a lot of failure. But one thing this is a lesson that I learned. This is a lesson that I learned after my career was over when I was able to kind of like step back and look back on the whole entirety of it. Is, dude, even if you're a 230 hitter, this is crazy. Even if you're not a 300 hitter, say you're a 230 hitter, if one team or one scout or one front office likes you, they can change your life. They can change your career. You don't have to be a 300 hitter. You don't have to be a 330 hitter, or you don't have to get 4 hits, right, on the day that they come see you in order to get an opportunity at the next level, man. If you show promise, if you show that you are a good teammate, if you show you can do the fundamentals, if you can show future promise with the tools that you have and the game that you're able to play today, even if you're hitting 230 All it takes is for one scout or one team to like you in order to get an opportunity at the next level, man. That's the truth. It can change your life. It can change your career because all you need is a chance. That's all you need. All you need is one tool to get your foot in the door. All you need is one person to like you, like your game, and like your potential in order to give you an opportunity. That's how it works, man. Talked about these guys at the top of the top, right? The Shohei Otanis. Yeah, they're studs. Of course they're studs, dude. But they're not all five-tool players up there. And you don't have to have all five tools in order to get to the big leagues. You just need an opportunity. You just need a chance. You just need one team or one scout to like you. That's how it goes. And even if you go 0 for 4 when a college coach or a scout or a team comes to see you, you can still get a full ride. You can still get a scholarship. You can still get drafted or a professional opportunity based off of going 0 for 4. Right? It's crazy. That is insane to think about, but it is the truth, dude. You don't have to get 4 hits when the LSU coach comes and sees you. Jay Johnson was just on the podcast. Jay Johnson was just on the podcast last week talking about, dude, we want to see you guys fail. Right? Like if Jay Johnson and his staff from the 2003 national champion LSU Tigers comes to see you play baseball, it's probably because he knows you're a stud, right? He's not expecting you to get 4 hits. He wants to see how you deal with that adversity, man. Are you crying? Are you pouting in the dugout after you go 0 for 4? You catch a golden sombrero, you strike out 4 times. Do you shrivel up into a raisin? Are you a terrible teammate? You're throwing your helmet and stuff. Like, he wants to see that stuff. He's going to be able to say, yo, that's a red flag. I'm out on that guy, right? Even if you go 0 for 4, you can still get an opportunity, either a scholarship or a professional opportunity, man. That's how it goes. You don't have to be a 350 hitter in order to get to the next level either, man. There are other intangibles. There are other tools. There are other things that go into that stuff that you might not even know about, that you can portray and you can show on the day that these guys are there, man. Keep playing the game. Keep playing the game hard. Keep going about your business the right way, and everything else will fall into place. These are the 7 lessons that I learned on my journey from Little League to the big leagues, and these are the 7 lessons you need to know in order to get to the MLB. Everybody wants to get there. Not everybody's going to be blessed with that opportunity, man. So it's important you guys keep playing hard. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Catch you next time.